What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, AskTheBrain, and you're watching The Couch. These are my Week 17 waiver wire pickups. I know that some of our viewers play Week 17, some of them do Week 16, Week 17, 2-week fantasy football Super Bowl. This video is for you. If you're not playing, please continue to watch. I have great announcements. I have the Fantasy Woes, which I'm about to do, and of course the waiver wire pickups for Week 17. Some quick announcements. I will be doing a 2017 Fantasy Football Awards show. Should be uploaded any minute as you're watching this, or probably already uploaded while you're watching this. So make sure you tune in to that video. Also make sure you listen to the podcast. We'll be revealing the winner of the Couch League and where people placed and all that. It's gonna be amazing. So watch the awards video, listen to the podcast, and here are the fantasy woes from last week. There weren't any huge upsets like guys, that were you thought would be like QB1 or RB1 and just were like did nothing. So there weren't too many huge ones, but there were a lot of disappointments. I could go with a guy like Thomas Rawls. He would definitely be my bust of the week, but he did get injured. Don't like to really put guys who got hurt, but before he got hurt, he was doing a horrible. It wasn't pretty game for them, and the Seahawks backup Alex Collins actually started doing better once Rawls was out of the game. I could go with Vernon Davis, but I think we all knew that he was kind of a risky start. You expected much more than what he did, but it's still not the best, not the biggest disappointment of the week. I could go with Cam Newton. This was actually a huge disappointment. Some people shockingly made it to the Super Bowl with Cam Newton, a guy who was just horrible this year, a huge bust. I mean, it could have been bust of the year dang near in my fantasy football award show video, but man, I don't know how he made it this far with Cam Newton. He was a huge disappointment. But my biggest disappointment, fantasy football woe of the week, has to go to Doug Martin. This stressed the heck out of owners, and I was planning on starting Doug Martin. So listen to the podcast to find out what I did and if I was able to pull off the win in the championship game. But man, some owners, they really didn't have any options. It wasn't an early game either, so it made it even more difficult. So this healthy last-minute scratch just totally, just blew our minds. I mean, it's week 16, it's like, oh my gosh, who do I start? What do I do? So he's the biggest disappointment of the week. Luckily, most owners were able to sub him out, but for the guy that had to sub in for them, they may not have done much better than 0 points. He is my biggest disappointment from the previous week. All right, let's kick it off with the waivers, the quarterback position. Just a quick announcement about all the waivers. I am ranking them this week like I do every week, but disclaimer, all right? These rankings could change in a heartbeat, and that's why we don't like to play week 17 a lot. I always recommend if you have to play a week 7, like you really want to play a week 17, at least combine it with week 16. So week 17 has less value. It's more watered down. It's not as powerful. It doesn't have as much meaning. If you're just a week 17 Super Bowl, gosh, it's a horrible week, and it's the most important game of the fantasy season. So that's my suggestions. Our Couch League and most leagues just end at week 16, 1 week Super Bowl, 1 week championship game. So like I said, these rankings could change in a heartbeat, whether teams rest players, their healthy scratches, or what they do. It's kind of hard to predict, but there are ways we can that can help project what's going to happen, looking at the playoff picture, looking at, who's a healthy scratch the last second. It just shows, what's going on. Like, is Mark Sanchez active this game? Is Alfred Morris active this game? That's going to really signify what's going to happen, and maybe even help us determine the impossible is like if the starters are going to play a little bit and then get pulled out as the game goes on. It's really tough to predict, but I did my best and I ranked them for you as usual. So quarterbacks, my top 3 quarterback pickups are Tyrod Taylor going against the Jets. Actually, I think EJ Manuel is starting, guys. I misread that. So just, wow. Okay, so EJ Manuel, I think, is going to be the starter. So I would have EJ Manuel like number 3, I guess. man, this is it's so hard to rank. That's why I hate week 17. So we got, so number one, that would make Blake Bortles, Jacksonville Jaguars going against the Colts. I think Blake Bortles has some potential to ball out. He played well against the Colts last time they faced off this year. Alex Smith going against the Chargers. Again, I don't know about all these scenarios. I don't know if Alex Smith is going to be pulled. So just keep tabs on what's going on. So I'm trying to say, I wanted to rank him for you guys, but these rankings might suck. And if you're in deeper league or dual quarterback leagues, we have Matt Castle, Matt Moore, Bradford, Tom Savage, Landry Jones. If Ben Roethlisberger may not play at all or maybe pulled early. Paxton Lynch, if he is the starter, and Matt McGloin. We know that Derek Carr is out. For running backs, every Jaguars running back is injured. Chris Ivory is hurt. He's questionable, but there's a good chance he can play. So definitely have to have him on this list. As I said earlier, they're facing the Colts. We got Fitzgerald Toussaint. I do believe Le'Veon Bell will rest this game. And D'Angelo Williams may not get that much run either, so he's a good pickup. Alfred Blue, I mean, this guy could easily be number one. Definitely should be number one if Lamar Miller is hurt. So we have Alfred Blue, Ronnie Hillman, Kenneth Farrell, another Charger on IR. Their starting running back, Kenneth Farrell, is on IR. So Ronnie Hillman's a pickup. Sharkandrick West, if Spencer Ware is hurt. Maybe even Niall Davis. I'm not sure on their situation. I know the Chiefs did clinch playoffs with that win last week against the Broncos. Darren McFadden, maybe even throwing Alfred Morris, I guess. Byron Marshall, because like other teams, all the running backs are hurt. So the only real running back on the Eagles that's not hurt is Sproles. Smallwood is hurt. Matthews is hurt. So Byron Marshall should get decent amount of work, decent amount of snaps. I don't see why they would, put Sproles in there 90% of the snaps. Could be a 50-50 split or something like that. And Alex Collins, now he's a guy that could be number one if we knew that Thomas Rawls is out. I haven't got word yet on the MRI for Rawls and how severe the injury is, if he's going to play, and I don't really know yet. It's too early. That's why these rankings are so hard. It's also early in the week. So I'm not sure, but man, if Thomas Rawls is out for sure, they got rid of Christian Michael, CJ Prosise is injured, Alex Collins goes up all the way to the top because the Seahawks face the Niners. We know how that Niners defense is. For wide receivers, now here's some actually really good pickups, not as confusing. Adam Thielen, J.J. Nelson, Marquise Lee, Brandon LaFell, and Cameron Meredith, all great pickups. And even these two Seahawks are great pickups now that Lockett, he suffered a severe injury, broke his leg. Paul Richardson, he has a lot more upside than Jermaine Kearse. Jermaine Kearse, I would say, is a little bit safer, more of a trustworthy receiver. And Paul Richardson has, that big playability. And Terrell Pryor makes it back on this list. A lot of people will be dropping him, or those that care and whatnot. I hate to say this, but it's because RG3 is hurt. We know RG3 playing severely hurt Terrell Pryor's value. Man, it was like night and day. Terrell Pryor was nearly a must start every week until RG3 came in the game. Wow. On deeper leagues, Brian Quick of the Los Angeles Rams and Kenny Stills. Check up on the status of Kenny Britt. I believe it's Kenny Britt. Might be questionable. Not sure. I think he got hurt a little bit last game. So just check up on the status of that. If Kenny Britt is out or nowhere near 100%, this gives Brian Quick a little boost. But he is a Los Angeles Ram. Keep that in mind. Their offense is not exciting, to say the least. For tight ends, Charles Clay makes it atop of this list. Just awesome tight end. Jared Cook, more upside though. Let's double check this status. I'm going to check right now if EJ Manuel is going to start. Okay, sorry about that. I had to just double check EJ Manuel will start because I heard he would, and then I don't know why. I forgot to change my notes. Okay, so EJ Manuel is starting. But Makes Charles Clay more risky, but still, he should be throwing the ball to Charles Clay. I mean, he could be even better with EJ Manuel in there as a safety valve. I wouldn't say that. I just say he's more risky, you know, not necessarily worse, not better, but just more risky because EJ Manuel is not a good quarterback. Jared Cook, though, you know, the Packers are playing the Lions. This is a meaningful game. These two teams are going to be playing hard, to say the least. So I like those two guys. Vernon Davis, we know he sucks. Jermaine Gresham sucks, but hey, I give you some tight ends to pick up. Those two, though, Cook and Clay, not bad. A lot of defenses to pick up, and this is going to be tough. I mean, it's week 17. Most of these guys won't help you out. You need a hard-hitting defense. But I did my best in case you're streaming and you really need a defense. You know, like the Texans, for example, they could be resting players. I don't know. They could rest Clowney. I'm not sure, but it could happen. So I got the Steelers going against the Browns, Bears going against the Vikings, Buccaneers going against the Panthers, Colts, Bills, Raiders, Eagles. I don't know if the Cowboys are going to rest players, and the Eagles are playing at home. They might even win this game. Cowboys, because that same game, you know, could be low scoring. Texans going against the Titans, no Mariota. Packers going against the Lions. Titans going against the Texans, and Washington going against the Giants. I think I'm being told that the Giants will not be resting players, but you don't know, man. That's why we don't do week 17. But I'm trying to do my best for you guys. Hope it's appreciated, and I hope it helps for those of you that are playing week 17. Those are all my waiver wire pickups for week 17. Hope that helped you out, guys. Make sure you guys listen to the podcast. Just go to fantasycouch.com and it'll be there early Wednesday morning. It's also on iTunes and Stitcher. Download the Fantasy Couch app. That's probably the best way to get it. It's just download the Fantasy Couch app, available on the App Store, Google Play. Just search for Fantasy Couch. Download the app. You'll see our logo. You can listen to the podcast, watch the videos there. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure to comment below. I appreciate all the comments and likes. Really helps us out, by the way. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. Hit that bell notification icon. Join the notification squad. So just hit subscribe here or down below, the red subscribe button. Hit that bell icon. Make sure you watch the Fantasy Football Awards show. As soon as it's up, it'll appear right here, guys. So make sure you watch the Fantasy Football Awards show. It's coming out. That's all. See you guys on the next video.